John Blake presents The Twins, Men of Violence, written by Kate Kray and read by Michelle Collins. Forward. It's been 7 long years since Ron died. My life has moved on. I've written a #1 bestseller and now have my own TV series on Channel 5. So when I was asked to write this book, I was very, very reluctant. I telephoned Joey Pyle, one of Ron's oldest friends, for some advice. Joey is a shrewd man and always puts me right. Joe told me not to write the book. Leave their memories in peace. I almost put my pen down and stopped writing that second. He was echoing the very thoughts that had been going through my head at the moment I started work. But then I sat down and thought about it. I thought about everything that had been written about Ron and Reg in the past. So much of it crap from people who'd never met them. Hearsay, half-truths, sometimes just plain lies. Even if the twins had lived to be 100, they would never have managed to collect the number of minders, drivers and associates that seemed to have crawled out of the woodwork. It seemed to me that everyone had had their pound of flesh from the Krays. Only a handful of people knew the real Ron and Reg. I was lucky. I was married to Ron, and even 7 years after his death, people still ask me questions. Were they really as vicious as everyone said? Why did they stay in prison so long? What? Why? Where? When? So I decided to carry on with my work. I feel that if I give an honest, no-nonsense account of what I know, then Ron and Reg Kray can be left in peace. I don't want to glorify them like some soppy bird, seeing them through rose-tinted glasses. They were vicious men, and I know that. But they were a big part of my life for a long time. And if, by writing this book, I can put the record straight once and for all, then so be it. I'd like to think that this will be the last thing ever written about them. Somehow, I doubt it will be. Prologue. I'd rather die standing than on my knees, begging to be released. Ronnie Kray. I woke up with a start. For a moment, I had no idea where I was. I remember looking at the small alarm clock that stands on the bedside table. It was 3:35 a.m. I took a sip of water and lay back down. Then suddenly, I saw my dad standing in front of me. He looked young. He was wearing his checked overcoat, the one he always wore when I was a child. I didn't understand. I was puzzled because my father had died a year before. I studied my dad's lovely face. I remember clearly asking, "What you doing here, Dad?" Dad smiled, a familiar smile, one that I'd missed so much. "I wanted to see you," he answered. I was puzzled. "But you're dead." Dad smiled and explained. He said that yes, he was dead, but he never left me. He said that when I suddenly start thinking of him, for no reason at all, that's when he is with me. I can't usually see him, but, he said, he makes himself felt inside my head. I asked him, "How come I can see you now?" He answered, "Because you are dead too." At first I was shocked. Then I was glad. I was with my father, and I loved him. I wanted to kiss him, but I was afraid to, in case he got upset. Before his death, he used to cry over the slightest little thing. But Dad was happy. No, it's all right. Nobody cries here." So I put my arms around him and cuddled him tight. I've always maintained that that's what arms are for, cuddling. Then I saw Ron. He looked great. He was wearing a Prince of Wales check suit. His hair was jet black. I gasped. "Ron, you look brilliant. You look so young." He didn't look like the Ron I knew. He looked more like the glamorous photos I'd seen of him. He laughed and explained that after death, if a spirit wants to return to their loved ones, then they usually manifest themselves in the form of when they were at their happiest. In his case, it was the 1960s. But Ron being Ron, he wanted me to pass on a message to Reggie. I promised that I would. He said, "Tell Reggie that I'm all right and that it is smashing here." He insisted that I got the message right, as usual. At that point, my dad told me that it was time I went back. He said that it wasn't my time yet. I didn't want to go.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?